let's talk about reality TV for a moment. You might remember that last season, I was just a friend to the show, but now I have decided to return to the Braxtons. Now, it turns out the production for season 2 had to be put on hold because things got so heated between the Braxton sisters, especially Tamar. For those who don't know, Tamar isn't just a friend to the show anymore. This season, she's a main cast member, and she decided to bring her niece, Ashley, into the mix. Ashley, by the way, is the daughter of their brother Michael. Now, let me tell you, things are about to get really messy behind the scenes. Trina Braxton has recently thrown some serious shade at Tamar, accusing her of shutting down the whole show because of her outrageous behavior. Word is, the drama between Tamar and Trina went from some petty rivalry to full-on chaos, and the producers are thinking about pulling the plug on the show altogether. It's wild because, let's be honest, producers usually thrive on drama. They love it. But even they're getting overwhelmed by the craziness going on. So, what exactly did Tamar do this time to cause such a storm? Well, insiders are saying Tamar exposed some personal stuff about Trina's ex, alleging that he had been involved with younger women. Tamar didn't hold back, and that really set Trina off. If there's one thing we know about Trina, it's that she'll defend her man no matter what. So, for Tamar to put all that out there publicly definitely stirred things up. But it doesn't stop there. Tamar is now accusing Trina of trying to turn the other Braxton sisters against her. She claims that Trina is freezing her out of the family, trying to cut her off. Now, the big question everyone's asking is whether Tamar is really being pushed out of her own family, or if she's just playing the victim like she has done in the past. Things got even more intense when Toni Braxton, the oldest of the sisters, decided she had had enough. In the middle of filming, Toni walked off set, tired of the never-ending drama. According to sources, Toni couldn't deal with the constant chaos anymore. She said that after losing their sister Tracy, they all promised to stick together, but now things are worse than ever. Fans were especially hit hard by Toni's decision to leave, because it felt like their promise to support each other after Tracy's passing was falling apart. Let's clear something up, though. While some people are trying to make it seem like Toni is at the center of this mess, it's really all about Tamar and Trina. Yes, Tawanda's name gets dragged into it here and there, but the biggest issue is definitely the tension between Tamar and Trina. This isn't a typical sibling argument, it's something much deeper. The drama between Tamar and Trina has been simmering for quite a while, but it hit a breaking point in the last season of the Braxtons. Anyone who has been watching the show can see the tension. It's not just playful shade. It's real emotional turmoil. Sure, every sister has had their share of drama, but the relationship between Tamar and Trina feels different. There's something much more serious at play here. The saddest part? The new season was supposed to focus on honoring their late sister Tracy, who passed away in 2022. You would think that losing a loved one would bring the sisters closer together, but instead, it seems to have driven them further apart. To try and heal, they've been attending group grief counseling sessions. They even sat down with a therapist named Spirit, who tried to help them work through their pain. But even during these sessions, the drama didn't stop. At one point, Tamar called out Tawanda, accusing her of not putting any real effort into their relationship. Tawanda, on the other hand, stood her ground, saying that she had to prioritize her mental peace and set boundaries. According to Tamar, Tawanda only answers her calls when the cameras are around. Tamar feels like it's all fake, like Tawanda is only pretending to care when the cameras are rolling. Tamar has made it clear that this issue isn't just about miscommunication. To her, it's about respect. At the end of the day, Tamar is saying that she respects where everyone is at in their lives, but the cold shoulders and constant back-and-forth energy have left deep scars. The family is clearly still dealing with unresolved issues, and it seems like these wounds might never fully heal. I talk to them every day, girl, but you do not answer. Let's be clear. Did you call me yesterday? Did I answer? Well, we are taping now, so no, ma'am, that is not true. Every time you called, I answered. Every time you texted, I responded. That's a fact. So, you're calling me a liar? No, I am not lying. You said I did not call you, and that is the word you are using now. It's one thing to have family drama behind closed doors, but when it spills out in front of cameras and fans, it really blows up. The tension has reached a whole new level, and viewers can feel it. Every scene now seems like it could explode at any moment. Honestly, it is hard to tell if they even want to fix things, or if they have just accepted that their bond may never be the same again. One thing is for sure though, this situation is getting heavier by the day, and it seems like it will only get messier from here. Do you remember when Tawanda went on Instagram Live last year to clear the air about her relationship with Tamar? She wasn't holding back. She said, "I want to clear up some discrepancies," and she was clearly ready to set the record straight. But that live session did not bring peace, it only made things worse. Tawanda explained, "If any of my sisters call me, I will pick up the phone and answer. If they text me, I will respond. But I respect people's boundaries, whether I agree with them or not." She was adamant about respecting boundaries and protecting her peace. She added that people may think she is hard or unfeeling, but really, she just knows how to prioritize what is important to her. It is not that she doesn't care, but rather that she learned to compartmentalize and focus on protecting her mental peace. After Tawanda's live, the comment section went crazy. People were calling her out, saying she sounded jealous of Tamar's success. Tamar has been building a solid career for years, chart-topping albums, reality shows, talk shows, tours, you name it. She's been grinding hard and making money, while Tawanda is also working but not getting the same level of attention. The internet, however, doesn't care about the full story. People quickly pick sides, and many of them were not on Tawanda's side. Tamar's fans were calling her out, saying she went live to throw shade at her sister because she couldn't handle Tamar being the star of the family. But Tawanda wasn't about to let that go without responding. She clapped back hard, saying that people were twisting everything and creating drama where there was none. Tawanda made it clear that the show is supposed to show real life, and real life isn't always easy. Real families go through real issues, and they don't always get along. She said, "Everyone has their own journey, period." And when fans called her jealous, Tawanda responded by asking, "How can I be jealous of one sister and not jealous of Toni Braxton?" Things took another turn when Tamar was intentionally left off the guest list when Tawanda got married. Sources say it wasn't an accident, it was deliberate. After all the chaos last season, fans thought the sisters were finally ready to move on and act like adults, but it's clear things didn't calm down behind the scenes. The drama got so bad during filming that production had to hit pause. Word is, filming for the Braxtons was paused after a huge argument between Tamar and the rest of the sisters. Season 2 is still expected to air this summer, but after everything that's happened, no one is sure if it will actually happen on time. At first, everyone thought the blow-up was between Tamar and Tawanda because they have been clashing a lot. But then Trina jumped in and things took a new turn. She posted a cryptic message that had fans talking, saying, "To everyone who has distanced themselves from me, kindly stay there." It was clear shade, and fans were buzzing about what went down. The gossip is that Tamar's niece, Ashley, exposed some serious skeletons about Trina's late ex-husband, Gabe. Ashley reportedly told Trina that Gabe had crossed some serious lines and acted inappropriately. But instead of backing up Ashley, Trina reportedly stood by her man, despite what he had been accused of. Now, let's be real, Gabe was far from perfect. He was unfaithful for a good part of their 12-year marriage, and Trina had her own issues in the relationship too. But Tamar allegedly sided with Ashley and brought everything up again, and that really set Trina off. The two have always had their issues, but this just took it to another level. All that messy energy played out right in front of the cameras, and fans got to see the fallout on Braxton family values. Ashley's story didn't completely shock anyone, especially because Gabe had a reputation for not being able to keep his focus where it should have been. For those who may not know, Ashley Braxton is the daughter of Michael Braxton, the older brother of the famous Braxton sisters. She started to gain attention online when she shared a story that rocked the entire family. According to Ashley, one of her aunts didn't just ignore what was happening. She actually sided with her husband and twisted the situation, making Ashley look like the problem. Ashley, who is now 32, said this all happened when she was just 16. She had gone to visit her aunt like she would on any regular family trip, expecting nothing unusual. But during her stay, her aunt's husband allegedly started acting in a way that made her feel very uncomfortable. Things didn't stop at just being awkward. Ashley claims it got worse when the man started sending her inappropriate messages. No teenager should ever have to deal with that, especially from an adult who is part of the family. Eventually, Ashley returned home feeling disturbed and confused, but the truth didn't stay hidden for long. Her stepmother somehow found the inappropriate messages and immediately showed them to Ashley's father, Michael Braxton. Michael was furious and deeply concerned, so he reached out to his sister, Ashley's aunt, expecting her to take the matter seriously. But instead of listening or holding her husband accountable, Ashley says her aunt completely turned the situation around. Instead of protecting her niece, she defended her husband, pushed Ashley out of the family picture, and isolated her. That moment wasn't just a betrayal, it was a turning point. Ashley said it shattered her trust in the family and made her feel like she was being punished for telling the truth. Fast forward to the present day, and Ashley decided to finally speak up after keeping quiet for years. What she shared left people in shock. She said her stepmom and dad found the disturbing messages between her and one of her aunt's husbands, messages that should never have been sent to a teenager. According to Ashley, things were way out of line. She was only 16 at the time. At first, her aunt had been supportive, crying with her and doing what a family member is supposed to do. But Ashley said that support didn't last long. Over time, her aunt became distant and cold, eventually turning everything around and making Ashley feel like she was to blame, as though she had somehow invited the attention when she was just a teenager. It didn't make sense. Now, after therapy, Ashley says she has started to heal. She realizes that the way she was treated wasn't just unfair, it was damaging. She understood that the weight she had been carrying wasn't hers to hold. Opening up helped her heal, but it also reopened old wounds. She shared how amazing it was to talk to other women who had gone through similar situations. They could relate, though it was heartbreaking to hear their stories as well. Ashley never mentioned which aunt she was talking about, but the internet quickly got to work trying to figure it out. Fans started piecing together clues and digging into old episodes of Braxton family values. They even rewatched clips and interviews, looking for any hint that could reveal the truth. The biggest clue Ashley gave was that the man who made her uncomfortable had been showing similar behavior on TV. That line alone sent people into full investigation mode, connecting the dots faster than ever. Anyone who has watched Braxton Family Values knows the Braxton sisters have had their share of drama, but not all of it has been as loud and messy as the drama surrounding one particular sister. That's when fans focused in on Trina. Back when the alleged incident happened, Trina was married to Gabe Solis. Their relationship was one of the most chaotic storylines on the show. The whole world watched their marriage fall apart, episode by episode, with Gabe constantly doing things that had viewers questioning his actions. It did not take long before fans started making their own conclusions. The timeline, the behavior, the public scandals, it all seemed to point in one direction. Without Ashley needing to name names, people were already convinced that the man involved in her story was none other than Gabe. The internet detectives had done their work, and it was hard for anyone to deny the connections they had drawn. While some fans may have been skeptical, others felt that everything made perfect sense. After all, Gabe had been such a visible and outspoken figure on TV, and his behavior had never been a secret. But there was another layer to this story. Ashley never explicitly named anyone involved. She never said Gabe's name. Instead, she dropped hints and let fans figure it out for themselves. This only added to the intrigue and mystery surrounding her story. She did not want to put anyone on blast, but the details she shared were enough to set the wheels of speculation in motion. It was not just the fans who were piecing things together. People close to the family also began to connect the dots, and word started to spread. The idea that Gabe was the man in Ashley's story became almost accepted fact. While Ashley remained quiet about the specifics, her actions spoke volumes. Fans were quick to notice that whenever someone suggested it was Gabe, Ashley would like the comment. In fact, she liked many comments that seemed to point in Gabe's direction, adding fuel to the fire of the growing speculation. Now, the question was, how would the rest of the Braxton family handle the situation? With the public now aware of Ashley's story and the internet buzzing with theories, the Braxtons were facing more pressure than ever. For Trina, who was already dealing with the fallout of her rocky relationship with Gabe, this new development added even more strain. She had to deal with the reality that her personal life was being picked apart by the public once again. For Ashley, however, this was her truth, and she was finally speaking out after years of keeping quiet. Whether fans believed her or not, it was clear that the story she shared had hit a nerve. In the end, the internet had done what the internet does best. It had taken a few clues, a lot of speculation, and turned them into a theory that seemed almost too perfect to ignore. With the timeline, the patterns, and the scandals all lining up, it was no wonder that fans jumped to the conclusion that Gabe was the man involved in Ashley's painful experience. And while Ashley had never named him directly, the internet had done the work for her. Now, all eyes were on the Braxton family as they navigated the fallout from this latest chapter in their very public lives. Let's be honest, Trina wasn't the only one married to a man with questionable behavior back then. If you look at it, almost every one of the Braxton sisters has been caught up in some kind of messy love story. Whether they were being cheated on, stepping out themselves, or stuck in constant arguments and drama, their relationships have always been chaotic. And honestly, that pattern didn't just appear out of nowhere. It runs deep. It didn't start with them. Many fans believe it all traces back to the woman who raised them, Mama Evelyn Braxton. Now, don't get it wrong, Evelyn is a strong woman, no doubt. But her own history with their father, Michael Braxton Sr., was full of pain and betrayal. He had a reputation for stepping outside their marriage many times, and Evelyn carried that hurt with her for years, even after their divorce. She wasn't shy about speaking out against him and made it clear she never fully forgave him for breaking her heart. If you've watched Braxton Family Values, you know Evelyn never played around when it came to cheating. She has spoken many times about how much she despised unfaithful men, and when she went off, she really went off. Her confrontations with Michael Sr. were intense, raw, and unforgettable. The pain in her voice was real, and so was the bitterness. But here's the thing, her anger didn't just stay with her. It trickled down into her daughters' lives too. The way Evelyn handled her own relationship struggles ended up influencing how her daughters approached love, loyalty, and betrayal. It was like history repeating itself in every generation. When people say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, this situation is a textbook case. The Braxton sisters witnessed firsthand how destructive love could be, and in many ways, they ended up following in those same footsteps, getting into relationships that mirrored the emotional roller coaster their parents went through. And that brings us to the present, because once fans pieced together all the clues Ashley dropped, the puzzle started to make sense. Based on the timeline, the relationship history, and all the public drama we saw on TV, people are now convinced that the Aunt Ashley was talking about is none other than Trina Braxton. Ashley didn't directly name her, but let's be real, she didn't need to. Her clues had the internet sleuths figuring it out fast. She mentioned that the person had been on TV and acted in the same way, and when one commenter said, "Sounds like Trina and Gabe," Ashley liked that comment without hesitation. Then another person added, "I definitely know it was Trina and Gabe. Gabe tried to fly out my cousin, booked a hotel near ATL airport, and blocked me when I tried to warn her, and Ashley liked that one too." Even though Ashley stayed low-key, her likes spoke volumes. The internet caught the vibe, and it didn't take long before people started connecting the dots and calling it what it was. Let's be real, Gabe had a history of doing the most on camera, so it's not a stretch to assume Ashley's story lines up with that messy past. Now, here's the unexpected twist. Tamar, the one who's always seen as the wild card, is the only sister standing behind Ashley. Yes, Tamar is reportedly the only one showing Ashley support and even wants to bring her on the show to share her story. But Trina? She's not feeling it at all. Word on the street is that Trina is furious about the situation. She already knows how bad it could look, especially if the show digs into Gabe's past and how she allegedly stood by him, even when things went too far. Insiders say this feud between Tamar and Trina has gotten so intense that filming for the Braxton show has been paused. Yes, the drama is that serious. And guess who's taking all the blame from the other sisters? Tamar. They're saying she's the one stirring the pot, but some fans are calling her the only one being real about it. Either way, the fallout has put the entire show at risk, just months after they promised to be more united in honor of Tracy's memory. It's a sad situation. That promise of unity went straight out the window, and now instead of healing, there's more fighting, more secrets, and the whole family brand is in limbo. So, what do you think? Was Tamar wrong for trying to help Ashley speak her truth? Should Trina be held accountable for what happened back then? Or is this just a case of family wounds being ripped open on camera once again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and make sure to subscribe for more tea you won't find anywhere else. I will catch you in the next one.